Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Sarabjit Kaur with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's vision is the essence of Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurates highway projects of more than 8,000 crore rupees in Rajasthan. Prime Minister to transfer over 18,000 crore rupees under PM Kisan scheme to more than 9 crore farmers tomorrow. Uttar Pradesh government to appoint special officers in all states for the welfare of its migrant workers. And COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.75% in the country. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said that Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's vision is the essence of the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, which has been launched to make a self-reliant India. The Prime Minister said that Atmanirbhar Bharat is the initiative for India's prosperity, which will aid in global prosperity. Mr. Modi was addressing the centenary celebrations of the Vishwa Bharati University at Shantiniketan in West Bengal through video conferencing. The Prime Minister is the Chancellor of the university, which was founded by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore.
विश्व भारती के लिए गुरुदेव का विजन आत्मनिर्भर भारत का भी सार है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान भी विश्व कल्याण के लिए भारत के कल्याण का मार्ग है। ये अभियान भारत को सशक्त करने का अभियान है। भारत की समृद्धि से विश्व में समृद्धि लाने का अभियान है। इतिहास गवाह है कि एक सशक्त और आत्मनिर्भर भारत ने हमेशा पूरे विश्व समुदाय का भला किया है। हमारा विकास एकांकी नहीं बल्कि वैश्विक, समग्र और इतना ही नहीं, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः का है।
Praising the institution for its remarkable achievements in varied fields like art and literature and science and innovation, the Prime Minister urged its students to utilize social media to help local artisans in the region in selling their products and thus achieve the goal of vocal for local. Mr. Modi said Gurudev wanted that the world should benefit from what is best in India and it should also learn from what is good in the world. He said India is spreading the message emanating from Vishwa Bharati to the whole world. The Prime Minister said Vishwa Bharati showed us how to live and learn with nature. He said India is the only major country which is moving in the right direction to achieve environmental targets set under the Paris Agreement. He asserted that India is also leading the world in environmental protection through the International Solar Alliance.
प्रकृति के साथ मिलकर अध्ययन और जीवन दोनों का साक्षात उदाहरण आपका विश्वविद्यालय परिसर है। आपको भी ये देखकर खुशी होती होगी कि हमारा देश विश्व भारती से निकले संदेश को पूरे विश्व तक पहुंचा रहा है। भारत आज इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस के माध्यम से पर्यावरण संरक्षण के विषय में विश्व के अंदर एक बहुत बड़ी अहम भूमिका निभा रहा है। भारत आज पूरे विश्व में इकलौता बड़ा देश है जो पेरिस एकॉर्ड के पर्यावरण के लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने के लिए सही मार्ग पर तेज गति से आगे बढ़ रहा है।
The Prime Minister said Vishwa Bharati has an important role in the implementation of the National Education Policy.
शिक्षा नीति को लागू करने में विश्व भारती की बड़ी भूमिका है। आपके पास 100 वर्ष का अनुभव है, विद्वत्ता है, दिशा है, दर्शन है और गुरुदेव का आशीर्वाद तो है ही है। जितने ज्यादा शिक्षा संस्थानों से विश्व भारती का इस बारे में संवाद होगा, अन्य संस्थाओं की भी समझ बढ़ेगी, उन्हें आसानी होगी।
Recalling India's freedom struggle, Mr. Modi said the Bhakti movement in Bengal united the country. The movement for learning gave intellectual strength and added new energy in the knowledge movement of India. The Prime Minister mentioned several Bengali freedom fighters' supreme sacrifice. He said Gurudev saw Vishwa Bharati as a place of learning and wanted to connect knowledge with living. Quoting Guru Rabindranath Tagore's poems, Mr. Modi said the idea of self-reliant India can be felt in his thought of nationalism. The Prime Minister said Vishwa Bharati is the embodiment of philosophy, vision and hard work of Guru Rabindranath Tagore. He concluded his virtual speech by asking the students of the university to open the doors of new possibilities and carry forward Gurudev's idea of knowledge and philosophy of life. West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar and Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank were also present during the event. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Pokhriyal said national education policy binds content with talent and is innovative and impactful. He said it is the amalgamation of the Indian knowledge system and Indian value system as envisioned by Gurudev. Founded by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore in 1921, Vishwa Bharati was declared a central university and an institution of national importance by an Act of Parliament in May 1951.
Union Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurated and laid the foundation for 18 highway projects in Rajasthan through video conferencing today. The virtual function was attended by Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, Union Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat and other union ministers from the state. Our correspondent reports that the length of these road projects is about 1,127 kilometers, involving expenditure of 8,341 crore rupees. More on this from our Jaipur correspondent.
11 projects costing rupees 6,427 crores were inaugurated today with a total length of 821 kilometers. These projects also include construction of Jaipur Ring Road, which will reduce the traffic pressure in Jaipur city. Similarly, the foundation of 7 projects of 305 kilometer length of 1,913 crores have been laid today. These projects will boost tourism in the state, reduce accidents and provide better connectivity to armed forces and villages. Addressing the program, Mr. Gadkari said that 52 projects worth 30,000 crores have been completed by the Ministry of Road and Highways in the last 6 years. He informed that in the coming 2 years, works of 2,700 kilometers will be completed in the state. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
The Prime Minister will release the next installment of financial benefit under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi PM Kisan tomorrow through video conferencing. With the push of a button, the Prime Minister will enable the transfer of more than 18,000 crore rupees to more than 9 crore farmers. The Prime Minister will also have a conversation with farmers from 6 different states during the event. The farmers will share their experiences about PM Kisan and also on various other initiatives taken by the government for the welfare of farmers. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar will also be present at the occasion. Under the PM Kisan scheme, a financial benefit of 6,000 rupees per year is provided to small and marginal farmers payable in 3 equal 4 monthly installments of 2,000 rupees each. The fund is transferred directly to the bank accounts of the beneficiaries. Speaking about the event, the Agriculture Minister said former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's birth anniversary on 25th of December is celebrated as Sushasan Divas or Good Governance Day. He said after Mr. Modi became Prime Minister, many steps have been taken to promote good governance, ease of living and transparency.
Speaking at the launch of 196 Better Life Farming Centres which will be operating across 9 states yesterday, the Agriculture Minister said the 3 progressive farm laws enacted by the Parliament are important benchmarks of good governance in the country. The Minister said reforms in the agriculture sector will aid transparency in the field and will put an end to Inspector Raj. Mr. Tomar said contract farming will benefit even the small farmers who are now enabled to sell their produce at a pre-decided and fixed price. The Agriculture Minister stated that the centre is moving ahead at a fast pace to ensure development of farmers in the country. He said private investment is an important driving force required to boost any sector including agriculture. A memorandum signed by more than 3 lakh farmers was submitted to Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, extending support to the new farm laws. Confederation of NGOs of Rural India's delegation handed over the memorandum containing more than 3,13,000 signatures of farmers to Mr. Tomar in New Delhi yesterday. Speaking on the occasion, the Agriculture Minister said there is enthusiasm among the farmers across the nation with respect to the new agri-laws. He said these reforms were long overdue. Mr. Tomar said it is because of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's determination that the necessary reforms can be seen taking shape on the ground.
वर्ष 2020 में भारत सरकार ने गांव, गरीब और किसान के विकास और कल्याण समृद्धि के लिए अनेक काम किए हैं जो निश्चित रूप से ऐतिहासिक भी हैं और अभूतपूर्व भी हैं। इन सारी कार्य योजनाओं के लिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को बहुत धन्यवाद मैं देना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने ग्रामीण क्षेत्र और कृषि के क्षेत्र के लिए जो कथनी और करनी में एक रूपता सिद्ध की है वह निश्चित रूप से बेमिसाल है।
BJP today came down heavily on Congress party following its leaders' meeting with President Ramnath Kovind against the farm laws. Talking to AIR News, party spokesperson Shahnawaz Hussain termed the laws as pro-farmer and accused the Congress of misleading the farmers. He said the main opposition party should stop playing politics on this issue.
कांग्रेस पार्टी की जो सरकारें हैं पहले सहमति भी रही, लेकिन आज जानबूझकर जब किसान आंदोलन पे है उनको भड़काना, उनको गुमराह करना, उनको भटकाना, ये कांग्रेस की और राहुल गांधी की आदत बन गई है और इस पर वो राजनीति कर रहे हैं।
Earlier, a Congress delegation led by senior party leader Rahul Gandhi met the president at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Talking to media, Mr. Gandhi said the protesting farmers will not go back home until these farm laws are repealed. Congress leaders also wanted to march towards Rashtrapati Bhavan over the issue, which was stopped by the police. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's vision is the essence of Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurates highway projects of more than 8,000 crore rupees in Rajasthan. Prime Minister to transfer over 18,000 crore rupees under PM Kisan scheme to more than 9 crore farmers tomorrow. Uttar Pradesh government to appoint special officers in all states for the welfare of its migrant workers. And COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.75% in the country. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
Welcome back to the Midday News. The Uttar Pradesh government will appoint special officers in various states across the country. Their task would be to ensure security and welfare of migrant workers from Uttar Pradesh in these states. Initially, these officers will be appointed in Mumbai, Delhi and Kolkata. Uttar Pradesh will be the first state in the country to appoint such officers dedicated for the welfare of migrant workers. A report from our Lucknow correspondent.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has ordered to appoint officers in Mumbai immediately and later on they will be appointed in other states also. These officers will ensure the security and welfare of migrant workers from Uttar Pradesh, and if workers face any difficulties, the officers will intervene with local administration and try to find a solution. A report on this will also be sent to the state government. The officers will also reach out to workers and inform them about the various welfare schemes being run by the state government so that they can enroll themselves as beneficiaries. Uttar Pradesh, along with Bihar, has the largest migrant labor force working in other states. During the lockdown, lakhs of migrant workers had returned home. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
India has crossed a significant milestone in its fight against COVID. With a continuous decline in the number of active corona cases, the active caseload in the country today has further decreased to stand at 2.80%. The active cases in the country witnessed a decline of nearly 5,400 cases in the past 24 hours to stand at around 2,83,000. The number of new daily cases remained even below 25,000, with 24,712 cases being reported in the last 24 hours. The national cumulative recovery rate has also further improved to be at 95.75%, with recovery of over 96,93,000 people so far. With recovery of nearly 30,000 people in the last 24 hours, the number of daily recoveries continue to outnumber the new daily cases. The total recovered cases in the country today stands at over 34 times the number of active cases. The Health Ministry has said that this has also led to a commensurate dip in the fertility rate, which stands at 1.45%. It informed that 312 case fertilities were reported during the past 24 hours. Over 10,39,000 samples were tested for COVID in the country in the last 24 hours. With this, the cumulative testing figure has reached at around 16 crore 53 lakhs. The central government and ICMR have scaled up the testing infrastructure in a calibrated manner. India's testing capacity has touched 15 lakh per day, ensuring easily accessible COVID-19 tests for all.
The Delhi government is fully prepared to receive, store and give vaccine to priority category persons in the national capital. Addressing media today, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said around 51 lakh priority category persons, including healthcare workers and frontline workers, will be vaccinated first. He said they are being registered for the COVID-19 vaccine. He added that each priority category person will be given 2 doses and a total of 1.2 crore doses will be required in the first phase of vaccination in the city. Mr. Kejriwal said the locations for the vaccination and required staff and officials for it have also been identified and are being trained. Madhya Pradesh continues to report more recoveries than positive cases. State registered decline in active COVID-19 cases. So far, more than 2,20,000 patients have recovered from COVID infection in the state. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
According to Health Bulletin of the State Department, 1,223 patients recovered yesterday. Around 26,500 tests have been carried out in the state yesterday, out of which 1,007 new positive cases were reported. The number of new cases remained below 10 in 37 districts of the state. Maximum COVID positive case 364 registered at Indore, followed by 156 at Bhopal and 32 at Gwalior. With 12 patients succumbing to the infection, the death toll rose to 3,514. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Gujarat, the number of new cases detected in Ahmedabad city has fallen below 200 during the last 24 hours. Quoting official sources, AIR correspondent reports that the number of active cases and number of micro-containment zones also fell significantly. More on this from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
With the decreasing number of new cases in Ahmedabad, the number of active cases also fell below 2,500 in the city. According to the local municipal corporation, the number of micro-contained societies in the city now remains just 10, which was more than 300 during the peak. Following the improvement in the COVID-19 situation, some 14 hospitals of Ahmedabad have been denotified from COVID hospital. Positive ratio of COVID-19 patients in RT-PCR test also reduced from 5% to below 3%. Meanwhile, Ahmedabad police are strictly implementing night curfew and compulsory mask rules in view of coming Christmas festivals. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
The Maharashtra government has said that a special survey will be conducted of passengers who arrived from the United Kingdom between 25th of November and 23rd of December. Arrival of a passenger from England in Nagpur has increased the worries of the health authorities after a person was found COVID positive and is feared to have been infected by the new strain of coronavirus. The person is undergoing treatment at the Government Medical College and Hospital in Nagpur. According to Avinash Gawande, Medical Superintendent of the hospital, the throat swab of the patient has been sent to the National Institute of Virology in Pune for further examination and the reports are awaited. More details on this from our Mumbai correspondent.
The patient, who is feared to have contracted the new variant of COVID-19, is undergoing treatment at the Government Medical College and Hospital in Nagpur. Apart from the men, 4 members of his family have also tested positive for coronavirus. Dr. Gawande said that upon his arrival, the man underwent COVID-19 test at the Nagpur airport on 29th November. But there, the test results came negative. He was advised home quarantine by the authorities. However, later after a few days, he experienced symptoms like loss of taste and smell and mild fever. He underwent another COVID test on the 15th of December and the report came positive. His throat swabs have been sent to the National Institute of Virology, Pune for genetic testing, the reports of which are awaited. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In the Union Territory of Puducherry, 40 persons were tested positive for coronavirus infection in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of active cases to 364. A report from our Puducherry correspondent.
According to the Health Department, of the 3,008 swab tests taken, 40 tested positive for the virus. As many as 26 persons were discharged from the hospitals in the last 24 hours. No death has been reported from the 4 regions of the Union Territory. Presently, 170 persons are being treated in hospitals and another 194 positive cases are under home isolation with a total of 364 cases. And now, the recovery rate touched 97.38% and the mortality rate in the Union Territory is 1.66%. Meanwhile, the Health Director Dr. Mohan Kumar said that the person who returned from UK has admitted in hospital for observation. Chandra Mohan, AIR News, Puducherry.
The government has dismissed a Hindi daily report which claimed that half of the coronavirus positive travellers from the UK are infected with the new strain. The Press Information Bureau has termed the report as incorrect. It said the genome sequence remains to be established to identify new strains of the virus in the travellers. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents Northeast Diary. Glimpses of the news of the week from the northeastern states.
All about the region, a gateway to Southeast Asia, the developments and the destinations to look forward to.
News from the art, cultural and entertainment world of the northeastern states of India. All this and more.
Every Thursday, 5:30 to 6 p.m. in the evening on 100.1 All India Radio FM News Channel.
In our special series Year-Ender 2020, today we bring you a report on Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had launched PMAY Gramin on 20th November 2016 with an aim of providing housing for all in the rural areas. On the 20th of last month, the scheme completed 4 years. Addressing a public meeting in Agra after launching the rural housing scheme, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said that the government wants every Indian to have a house by 2022 and PMAY Gramin will benefit the working class, farmers and the deprived.
2022 में जब हमारा देश आजादी के 75 साल मनाता होगा, तब हिंदुस्तान के गरीब से गरीब के पास अपना खुद का घर होना चाहिए। ये संकल्प लेकर के मैं काम कर रहा हूं और हमारे नरेंद्र सिंह जी तोमर के नेतृत्व में, उनके साथी श्रीमान रामकृपाल यादव जी के नेतृत्व में प्रधानमंत्री ग्रामीण आवास योजना का मुझे शिलान्यास करने का सौभाग्य मिला। सच्चे अर्थ में घर बनाने का काम प्रधानमंत्री ग्रामीण आवास योजना के तहत पूरे देश के लिए योजना को उत्तर प्रदेश की आगरा की धरती से मैं प्रारंभ कर रहा हूं।
Rural Development Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin has immensely benefited the rural population.
प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना ग्रामीण का संचालन भारत सरकार का ग्रामीण विकास मंत्रालय करता है। इस योजना को प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने परिमार्जित भी किया, तो गांव में जो व्यक्ति निवास कर रहा है उसको अपना घर हो, घर में रसोई हो, रसोई बनाने के लिए गैस का सिलेंडर हो और घर में रोशनी के लिए बिजली हो, तो एक व्यक्ति की जो मौलिक आवश्यकताएं हैं उन आवश्यकताओं को पूर्ण करने का काम प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में इस देश में बहुत सफलतापूर्वक संपन्न किया जा रहा है।
Our correspondent reports that the program envisages the completion of 2.95 crore houses in rural areas with all basic amenities by the year 2022.
Under PMAYG, houses are being constructed with new technologies and amenities like water, gas, toilet and electricity supply. In the first phase of the scheme from 2016-17 to 2018-19, a target for construction of 1 crore Pakka houses were set. In the second phase of the scheme, starting from 2019-20 to 2021-22, the target of construction of the remaining 1.95 crore houses has been set. As on date, a total of 1.75 crore Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin houses has been sanctioned and 1.2 crore houses have been completed against the allocated cumulative target of 2.26 crore houses. Under PMAYG, the minimum size of a house has also been increased to 25 square meters. Government has ensured that all houses constructed under PMAYG are designed properly by experts who have made it on the basis of topology and they are climate resistant homes. The selection of beneficiaries through a 3-stage validation, that is socio-economic caste census 2011, Gram Sabha and geotagging, has ensured selection of the poorest of the poor under PMAYG. The increased pace of work has been reflected in the NI PFP study, which indicated 114 days as average completion time for PMAYG as compared to 314 days earlier. The entire payments are through IT and DBT mode with Aadhaar-linked bank accounts with consent to ensure complete transparency and accountability. Anupam Mish, AIR News, Delhi.
Goa is all decked up for Christmas celebrations beginning at midnight tonight. People will be gathering at churches to attend midnight mass on Christmas Eve. Goa is a famous tourist destination and local as well as foreign tourists come to the state to participate in Christmas and New Year celebration events. However, this year, due to the restrictions on events owing to COVID pandemic, the normal mood is affected and programs are curtailed. More from our Panaji correspondent.
Christmas is celebrated in Goa with great enthusiasm. Midnight Mass is a Christmas tradition in Goa. Midnight Masses are organized in churches and chapels of Goa. Screens are erected for the same. Special Mass is organized for senior citizens at the backdrop of COVID pandemic. With hymns and carols around, the fervor of festive season is felt in Goa state. Lights and decorations, beautifully lit stars are salient features of the festival. Food items like dodol during Christmas are very famous in Goa. Police have made elaborate security and traffic arrangements. With Tushar Jadhav, Subhash Zan for AIR News from Panji, Goa.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. on Sunday. It will be the 72nd episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital experienced haze in the morning. The temperature will vary between 5 and 23 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, temperature will vary between 16 and 32 degrees. In Chennai, temperature will hover between 21 and 29 degrees. Kolkata will observe minimum temperature of 14 degrees Celsius, a maximum of 25 degrees. In Srinagar, temperature will hover between -4 degrees Celsius and 9 degrees. In Jammu, minimum temperature was 7 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be 20 degrees. In Leh, the minimum temperature was -13 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 4 degrees. In Gilgit, temperature will hover between -3 degrees to 7 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad, the temperature will move between 0 to 14 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 4 and 23 degrees Celsius. The city will have a mainly clear sky. Chandigarh will have a mainly clear sky too. The temperature is likely to hover from 5 to 20 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 14 degrees, while the maximum will be 29. Ahmedabad will witness mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 13, maximum 30 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's vision is the essence of Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurates highway projects of more than 8,000 crore rupees in Rajasthan. Prime Minister to transfer over 18,000 crore rupees under PM Kisan scheme to more than 9 crore farmers tomorrow. Uttar Pradesh government to appoint special officers in all states for the welfare of its migrant workers. And COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.75% in the country. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsoneir.com and News on EIR app. And with that, we end the midday news.